Brexit seems to be at a critical juncture. I'm just curious what advice you might have for the Prime Minister on how he should kind of finish this job that was promised the voters.
Well, I mean, I'm not involved day to day with negotiations. I mean, it's at the end game here on the trade deal, and of course there's this sort of posturing, cliff edge posturing going on. I have been a Brexiteer. My fundamental thinking on Brexit was that the European Union, which has been gradually federalising itself, was not fit for purpose democratically. You know, when the whole election, the vote was coming up, you know, I was going around asking people, who's the UK commissioner? Do you know what his portfolio is? And actually, what's the European Council do? And actually, there's another one. There's a European Council of Ministers. What do they do? And how much power does the Parliament have? Can it create legislation? And the answer to every single one of my questions from everybody was, I don't know, which just implied to me that here we had 60% of our laws at that time being made out of a sort of Kafkaesque world in Brussels, where you got this you know, it's just a sort of growing monster. And we didn't know who they were. We didn't elect them. You know, I mean, who elected the president of the European Commission? You know, Ursula von der Leyen. I mean, who's ever heard of her outside of the fact that she was German defense minister, I mean, at one stage, and not a particularly good one, if I understand rightly, but possibly shouldn't have said that. But nevertheless, there's that whole ignorance. And I loved my two ladies from Hull, you know, this port on the east coast, the North Sea coast of England, when asked by the BBC the day after the referendum, you know, why did you vote leave? And one of the women said, I like to look into the eyes of the people who make my laws. And I thought, good for you. You couldn't say it better. And that's the sovereignty issue. That's the whole independence issue. So coming to today, I would, my own advice, I mean, I'm not intricate in the negotiations, but to Boris is, don't come out of it with a botched deal where the European Court of Justice still has its strings attached to us, where we're tied to Europe, even though we haven't got any vote there or say there. In a way, a WTO separation now is clean. It may be a bit of chaos for a few months, lorries piled up on the motorway in Kent, but that can be resolved. But everybody will know where they are. And my view is, we're not going away. We're an island off the coast of Europe. We're not going away. We're not sailing, you know, putting up a flag and sailing across to America. We're going to be here. We're going to restructure our relationship with Europe, and they will restructure it with us. But what I would recommend is that they restructure themselves so that they're more transparent, they're more democratic, so that, I mean, like the United States, you've got a system where, well, I voted for the president, or I voted for the senator and the congressman. You know, here, the commission and the president, none of us voted for. Right. Okay. Right. So, I mean, that's my view.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. It comes down to sovereignty.
Yeah, it's very much sovereignty, and it'll be much healthier for us. Otherwise, I think Boris will have a millstone round his neck if he comes away with a botched deal, because the strife within his own party, the Conservative Party, which has been there for years, will still be there. And, you know, so you haven't healed anything. Yeah. You know, it needs to be resolved and as clean a cut as possible, and then we can all move forward. And hopefully the Remainers and the Brexiteers can get together again and make peace and work for the common good.